Good evening, everyone, and happy African History Month. Tonight I have the pleasure to honor of helping induct Beverly Mascoll to the Nova Scotia Business Hall of Fame. During Beverly's time at Toronto Barber and Beauty Supply, she recognized a significant gap in the marketplace. The scarcity of beauty products catering specifically to Black women, and took it upon herself to launch Mascoll Beauty Supply in 1970 with only $700 in startup capital. With a passion to fill the void she had identified, Beverly embarked on her entrepreneurial journey. This changed the country's Black beauty industry, and it made Mascoll's Beauty Supply Limited the first and sole Canadian distributor of most popular Black beauty products at that time. Beverly's influence extended far beyond business successes. She was deeply committed to education, community development, and advocacy, all of which led her to being appointed a member of the Order of Canada for outstanding entrepreneurship and assisting Canada's youth in 1998, as well as the establishment of the first Black Canadian Studies program at Dalhousie University. Tragically, Beverly's journey was cut short in 2001. Her passing left a void in the world of entrepreneurship, community leadership, and education. However, her legacy lives on through the countless lives she touched, inspired, and empowered. Please welcome to the stage Her Honor Mayann Francis, accepting this award in honor of Emerson and Eldon Mascoll, who could not attend this evening.
Thank you very much. Beverly indeed was my very close friend. She considered me her young sister. I'm not young, but at the time, that's how she considered, and we were very close. And I hope I can get through this without shedding some tears, because I miss her, and I've always missed her, and I still do. As I said, Beverly was my role model and my dear friend. I think of Beverly often. In fact, when I was trying to figure out what I'm going to wear here tonight, I said, "Bev, what do you want me to wear?" And she said, "Red," so here I am. She considered me, as I said, her young sister. She always said to me that she never had a young sister. I am very grateful that she is being inducted into the Nova Scotia Business Hall of Fame. She was a very successful businesswoman, and in my memoir, Mayann Francis, An Honourable Life, published in 2019, I dedicated chapter 6 to Beverly. In addition to being a successful entrepreneur, I wanted people to know what an intelligent, kind, honest, caring, and compassionate person she was. She cared about community. Education, equity, and justice were always on her agenda. She was a very humble individual. In chapter 6 in my book, I included a speech that was written by Beverly. It was a speech she had planned to deliver when she would be attending Mount St. Vincent University to receive her honorary degree. She did receive the honorary degree post her death. I want to share her speech with you now, because there are aspects in the speech she wrote that I believe also fit what she would have said if she were standing here being inducted into the Nova Scotia Business Hall of Fame. Her husband, as you saw on film here, and her son agreed with me about sharing her speech. Because I am proud of her speech, I also read it at her funeral. And how did I find out about the speech? Before she passed away, we always chatted about everything, and she said, I want you to look at the speech that I wrote for the Mount. This was several days before she died. And when I read the speech, and I said to her, "This is wonderful, you're going to the Mount." And she smiled, and thank you. When I returned to Halifax, she died 2 days later. This is the speech she wrote. President Brown, Councillor Brink, members of the Governing Council, graduates, families, ladies and gentlemen. As I prepared to come here today, I realized that life has brought me full circle. It all started just a short distance from here where I grew up in Fall River. It was in Fall River that my grandmother prepared me for many of life's little lessons, such as caring, sharing, Anastasia to supervise when the going gets tough. In my most ambitious dreams, I never expected that I would one day be here at Mount St. Vincent University, receiving an honorary degree. As an entrepreneur, it is a proud moment because Mount St. Vincent is dedicated to the education of women, and the Center for Women in Business is meeting the needs of the growing number of women entrepreneurs. For a number of years, I worked as an executive assistant in the general market beauty industry. There was a void in the Canadian market. No one was filling the specialized hair-care needs for women of color, and that's when I decided to become an entrepreneur. I understood the business, a key factor for any entrepreneur who wants to succeed. The necessary support that exists for women entrepreneurs today was non-existent when I started. When financial institutions turned me down, many times all I had to rely on were those little lessons learned from my grandmother and how she taught me to survive when the going gets rough, and the going can get rough. Those lessons establish a belief in myself and my commitment to being successful. Today, we celebrate as you graduate and make your commitment to being successful. It was just about this time last year, I also graduated from university. I received my BA in Women's Studies from York University in June 2000. The day-to-day interaction with students and the joy of learning was a grateful experience. Many times in tutorial, when we talked about history, for me, it was often current events, just a frame of reference differed. Most of my life experience was learned in what they called the real world. I am here to tell you what you've just gone through. A few years in another part of the real world, essays and finals, is very real. Reflect on the experiences you've had over the past few years in university, because you've also learned some lessons you'll refer to as you travel down the road of life. It's been said that every time you graduate, you move on, and there are many people to know, more difficult jobs to do, more experiences to have than you have yet gone through. One of the things that graduation says is that you are now ready. A few years ago, you today's grads made a commitment to obtaining a Mount St. Vincent degree, and you have accomplished that goal. Life requires commitment. Let me say that again. And if you only hear one thing today, hear this. Life requires commitment. Don't let people tell you what you can and cannot accomplish. I was often told that I was crazy because, after all, what could a poor black girl from Nova Scotia contribute to the cosmetic industry? But I had something that was priceless. I believed that I could accomplish whatever I set out to do. If you want something you never had before, you have to be prepared to do something you've never done before. I understood the power of believing in myself. Be honest about your motivation to achieve. If you conduct your lives honestly and honorably, not expediently, you can achieve real fulfillment. It is also important that at the end of the day, you can look back at your life with few regrets. In life, you have one of two things: discipline or regret. I asked a very dear friend whether she had any regrets as she looked back on her life. You know what she said? I wish I cried more. I wish I'd laughed more. I wish I'd loved more. I wish I sang out loud at the top of my lungs. I wish I danced in the rain. I wish I read more books. I wish I told people dear to me how I really felt, and once, just once, I would like to jump without looking to truly feel the wind beneath my wings. All of you have reached a tremendous milestone in your lives, one that you can be very proud of. With your graduation, you now join a prestigious group of Mount St. Vincent alumni. It took courage, commitment, and dedication to get you this far, and it will take courage, commitment, and dedication to take you where you would like to go. In closing, I would like to leave you with the wisdom of Arthur Langston Hughes. If you never say the words, I cannot, you will never have to say the words, I did not. This is the speech Beverly wrote. I did not write this. This was Beverly's speech. Thank you.